All right. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place online in Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Muhammad. The candidate number is 013-13458. The examiner is Jason. Examiner number 443533. Good afternoon. My name is Jason. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good afternoon too. My name is Muhammad Samin. You can call me by my first name, Muhammad.
Great. Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, of course. That's my passport.
Okay, thanks. In the first part of the exam, I will ask you some personal questions. Let's talk about your accommodation. Which part of your home do you like the most?
Well, I can say I love most of the part of my home, the place that I live in, but the most part that I enjoy to spend time in, which is my bedroom, because I have designed most of the part of it, and especially the color of the room, which is the Caribbean blue, my favorite
Please
color.
describe the room you live in.
The room which I live in, it has a large bedroom and with a couch which is located next to the window, which has a great view of the street, and there are some trees around it, which is very nice and very pleasant, especially in the morning time.
Thank you. Why do you think some people invest a large amount of money in buying houses?
Well, sometimes people buy high pricey houses because they can show they are wealthy and they have a lot of money. Let's say just to show off, while other they think it is the best thing to live in because it is the part which.
Let's talk about dancing. Do you like dancing?
Well, I can say I love to dance a lot, but however, nowadays I don't have that much time to spend to go to the parties and have some dancing. So
When was the last time you danced?
It was a long time ago, just the last summer that we went to my brother's birthday party that we had a lot of dancing at that.
Do you think there are any benefits for young people to go dancing?
In my opinion, the study has shown that dancing can have some physical benefit for the human being, especially they can burn some calories while they are dancing, and also they can enjoy themselves at the same time.
Great. Let's move on to talk about public gardens. Are public gardens very important in your country?
I can say my government has provided a number of public parks where there are a plenty number of trees which provide enough oxygen which we can breathe in, which we don't have in the urban area, which is polluted with the amount of gas emitted
Are
from the
there a
vehicles.
lot of public gardens in your country?
To some extent, I can say yes. There are a number of enough gardens, but they have to provide more because the city is growing more and more day and day.
Do you think there are enough public gardens in your hometown?
In my opinion, I can say to the extent I know, I have seen enough parks, which you can easily access to it. But some parts of the city lack the public parks.
Great. Thank you. This is the end of part 1. Let's go to part 2. In part 2, I will give you a card with a topic, and you will have to talk about it for 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes to help you if you wish. Do you understand?
Okay.
That's great. Okay. Can you see it clearly?
Yes.
I would like you to describe a time of seeing interesting animals or birds. Your 1 minute preparation time starts now. Okay, your 1 minute is over. Please begin speaking.
Well, the last year that we went to The Hague, which is a city located 13 minutes away from my hometown, we went there to a recreational area, which they had a zoo, and there are a lot of number of animals and bears too. And the animal that catch my attention, it was the lion, which is considered to be the king of the jungle. And I was fascinated by the lion since my childhood. I was very my favorite cartoon was Simba. That's why I love to see some lion alive to be seen by my naked eye. And we know the lion is a carnivorous animal, which they feed on meat, and they are predators. They love to hunt. And seeing a lion to be captured within a cage, it brought me some unpleasant feeling to capture a wild animal in the cage in the cost of getting some in the cost of for economical benefit. So some people can gain money while the other just to see the animal. And we know that the animal are very that lion are very physically active, and they love to hunt. And at that time I was a coach potato. I was wasting my time sitting in front of the TV, and I was grieving in way that when I saw a wild animal like a lion to be that much physically active. And the time that we spent within the zoo, it was very pleasant time, and we saw different animals, but the most fascinating one was the lion. We spent a good time.
That was nice. So now we can go to part 3.
Okay.
In part 2, you describe a time of seeing interesting animals. Now in this part, in part 3, I would like to ask you some questions related to this topic.
Okay.
Why are people keen on keeping pets?
Well, there are many reasons. One of them, they bring the joy, especially having a company. Some people might live alone, and they want someone to accompany them, especially when they are going for a walk or going around, and they can provide a positive energy, especially when you have a tough day and there are a lot of stress on you, and you come back to the home and there is a nice pet within your house, whether it is a dog or a cat, can relieve the stress from you when you play with them, and it's a nice feeling. And another thing is people will they will feel dependable, that you have to care for that animal. It's not just buying and adopting that animal. You have to wash it, you have to feed it, you have to treat the animal in a good way. That they are a life being. You should be as much as competent with them.
What are the differences between the animals in zoos and those in the wild?
Well, the animals that are living in the capture within the cage within a recreational area, they don't have that much space to go alone. Especially some wild animals they shouldn't be captured within a cage, because their natural habitat is within the forest or can be within a desert too. It's the place they should live in. And there are also some drawback from living in the wild, because many animals got sick and nobody care about them. While when they are within the zoo, there are some veterinary doctors that will come and check them monthly and provide a health care for them. And about the providing of the food, the wild animals, they should hunt, they should seek for the food they need for daily. While in the zoo, some zoo are, let's say, they are on a good level, they can provide daily food, especially for the carnivorous animals.
Is it important to preserve wildlife?
In my opinion, it is very important to preserve the natural habitat of the wild animals, wildlife, because it is considered to be a part of our planet, and we should keep it as natural as possible, because some animal might have been gone and might go extinction if we don't do so, and it will damage our planet on a large scale. Because everything within our globe has its own parts. If something is missing, it will imbalance the equation of the life.
Great. What's the impact of population growth on wildlife?
It's a known fact. As the population grows, there should be more space for the population. As it expands, it will be on the expense of the losing of the forest, deforestation, and there will be more industrialization within the forest area, and the trees will be felled down, and the animals and the birds which are living within their natural habitat, they will lose, and they have to migrate to another places, which will be like it will be same thing comparing with the human. There will be overpopulation of animal within another natural place, and there will be less amount of place to say their food or their needs. And
how does wildlife conservation benefit humans?
Wildlife conservation can have many advantages for the human life, like to say as many studies shows that many vaccine and many theories have been obtained from the studying of animals, especially some wild animals, which have many beneficial for the health well-being of the human being. And also
Thank you very much. This is the end.
Speaking course. This course is made up of 5 offline speaking videos in which you will learn all the necessary tips and techniques to take the IELTS speaking test with a high score.
Tell me about your family. Do you like...
In addition to that, you will have access to useful grammar and vocabulary resources. Once you finish your course, you will have 1 online mock test of speaking, along with comprehensive feedback under the same exam conditions.
Interesting question. A very
Join us to become our next successful candidate.